Hey guys, we're on the roof of the new office in Lawrenceville, and I wanted to give an update on the status of construction. We've been working on metal studs this week, and it's always interesting as metal studs go up, you can really start to feel the space, and that is very true with this project. Over here on this side, they've got the metal stud wall nearly complete, so you can feel the inside of the pinup studio right here. Just kind of, you can feel the ceiling now and the wall and what it's going to be like to stand here and look out onto the square. Now we are going to have a raised deck, so you will be elevated up and it'll be a flat surface that you walk out on. But the idea here was, it was in the front that we would have this space, this void that is the same three-dimensional shape as the void of the courtyard in the back. So it's kind of like you've taken this space and brought it up from the space in the back. But it's really pretty neat. So I went around and I primed all of the steel that touches metal studs. We have a lot of exposed steel on the inside. This is what it's going to look like. This is the actual look of the metal deck and the look of the steel. And so on this wall right here, we'll have some pin-up spaces. You can see here on this side, it's really pretty neat. I saw this during design. We're going to have a little bit of the old brick parapet wall exposed on the top. We'll peel back this roofing right here, and so you'll see a little bit of brick inside the conference room, and then this will run up. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to see a little bit of the brick on the outside as well. Most of the brick has kind of been painted over with some sort of black waterproofing, but it still has this kind of neat look to it. You can see it in the front here. We're not going to catch much of this in the front because we're putting a stainless steel channel on top of it, and that's what our guardrail is going to weld to. So unfortunately, we're not going to get to see a lot of this brick. This post right here, the top of it is really the top of our raised floor. And so you can kind of see, if you draw a line across where it's going to hit on the brick wall, and we got that channel on top, we might see one course of brick, but that's about it. So over here on the side, they've started the stud wall. I took this wall all the way to the property line, and that's the reason we've got this nice overhang on the adjacent roof, and you can see how the adjacent roof falls off. So our floor is actually going to go all the way over to this metal stud here, and we'll have to infill down in the back to continue that floor. And we got a raised floor in here as well, so as things change, we'll be able to move outlets around and different things. So the building is still leaking, which is always fun. We've gotten smart enough where we've put buckets in strategic locations so that you can catch a lot of the rainwater. Here we've got the metal studs on this side, which look fantastic. They're infilling down here at the bottom. We'll flash into my neighbor's roof, and you can see the parapet wall from the front exterior porch area just kind of developing right there, and then they'll continue these studs up. The idea here is very quickly after we finish these metal studs, we're going to put the plywood sheathing and the waterproofing on, and we're going to try to get a roof over the top here. That's very easy to roof. And we're going to try to get a roof on the front, and hopefully that will stop the water from leaking inside. And that's really, the front half is really where most of the water has been coming in, so that'll make me feel a little bit better. Hasn't been too bad recently. We'll get about 5 gallons of water on the inside when we get a nice rain, but it'd be nice to get that stopped. So you can see these front wing walls that are coming out. This time of day is going to be fantastic. This time of year it's going to be in the shade, so it's not too hot, and you'll be able to enjoy the view of the square out here. Here's how they attach the metal studs. You can see they sort of fold this piece back, they've cut it out, and then they shoot it in with this bracket that they've created. Now what we did is, you can see some of the screws and some of the nails here that they shoot in. I made them use 1/2 inch so that anything would not, or the screws would not penetrate through the steel, so that we wouldn't see it on the inside. We're trying to keep a really clean look here on the ceiling. Now, we did mess up a little bit when the guys put the tarp on top. They came down through some of the perforated deck, but I think once all the lighting goes in, and we've got a couple of roof drains that go in, that it's going to be fine. It's going to be a very industrial raw look, which should be really nice. The steel turned out fantastic right here, priming it. And so that's really the building. That looks great. The guys are going to work tomorrow and hopefully finish this wall. I'll take some video of that so you can see that as well, and then that will really give us a feel for the inside of the space. We're up on the roof. It's the end of the day, and I wanted to show you guys what the square looks like. The sun is setting, and it's just really a fantastic time to be up here on the roof. So we're getting a lot of the metal studs finished. You can see the canopy is starting to take shape here. We have a little bit of a dropped, we're calling it a knife edge. The full glass wall will come up to the bottom of the metal studs there, and then we'll have this soffit framing. I did a little exploratory work over here. It's sort of interesting. My neighbor's space, it rests on top of this wall right here, and you can see we've got this gap in our wall that goes to above his ceiling. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do there, because we're gonna have a little parapet wall on this side, the same as we have over here. So we just want to make sure that during a high wind that wall doesn't fold back. So they got some work done in the back. This is where they left off today. We've got the sidewalls framed over here, and they've started the back canopy as well. So it's really pretty neat. You're gonna be able to walk out a back door right here and onto a landing, and then walk right across the top of the roof down into the courtyard. But yeah, this is it at the end of the day. This will be our view right here towards the square. It's fantastic. Of course, we got these double columns right here that you'll be able to see through, and it's just a really special view this time of day. The walls are now almost completely enclosed, so you can really feel the space. It's amazing. The wind is whipping around up here. I don't know if it's just because the weather has picked up as far as wind goes, or if I've created a wind tunnel right here. But you can see this tarp is really moving in the wind. So they finished sheathing this parapet wall right here, and the one on the other side as well. So this is our exterior room, and you can really start to feel it. You can also feel the space on the inside here. I don't know how to feel about it. It seems large, but it seems small at the same time too. It's really sort of neat to see it enclosed. Of course, you don't have this view anymore out this way, and I did that because at some point in the future, I imagine my neighbor is going to go up with their building, and I really wanted to emphasize the front and the back of this space being open. So we have this contrast between these solid walls and the open glass walls. And the wall in the front here will be a nano wall, so it will be completely open to the outside in the front. So I'd imagine on a day like today, we'd probably have the nano wall open and be working up here in this great 60-degree weather. Here's our back stair area. So this is also going to be a raised roof like the front with the Ipe pavers, and then we'll have a little path out the back here, and you can see the sheathing that's happened and the canopy above. But again, this is what the roof deck looks like. It's the open perforated deck that's acoustic, and it's got some sound absorbing insulation that goes inside it. So the idea is next week we're going to get out here and apply weatherproofing on the outside of the plywood, and hopefully that'll keep a little bit more of the water out. It's still really leaking. I have found ways to keep buckets, or put buckets in certain important places, and that seems to be doing the job. So here's a better view of the stair on this side. And I'll have two rooftop units right here. It really is kind of amazing how the roof just became smaller with it being enclosed on that side. And we're gonna have a little parapet wall that's gonna run up on this side. Now this side we're gonna use CMU. Over there you're going to see some more metal stud framing. Here's the south side of the building. It's completely sheathed in plywood now. And you can see it's really created a space up here on the roof. It's interesting. I don't think this space, my next door neighbor, which is gonna end up being the Gwinnett Daily Post, I don't think that their space is 24 feet wide. It seems like it's just not as wide, but I could be wrong with that. It seems like it's more like 24 feet. So they finished off the metal stud infill here. Really looks nice. And then got this parapet wall. We're gonna extend this chimney up a little bit. I'm gonna get it working. Over here you can see the plywood. I'm thinking it's a wind tunnel. It doesn't seem to be as breezy out here. So they lack finishing a little bit up top, and they'll get that done early next week. Just got up here today. The guys framed around the restroom walls today, so you can start to feel the space. These temporary walls over on the left, they will be taken down once we finally attach the beam right here up top. We've got some bolts we need to put in that, and then we will remove these temporary walls, and that'll open up the space in the front. But one of the reasons we're not doing that is beams are not inherently straight, and so this beam wasn't straight. You can see right here we've got a ratchet strap, and we've had to pull the beam over and push it, and we've got some other supports on the other side. So what we did is we forced that beam to be straight, and then we've attached it to the structure, and we'll bolt it down so when we release it, it will continue to be straight. But the guys today really looks cool. They started laying out the restrooms, and you can see right here. So there'll be a corridor over here to the right. We've got some nice uplights that'll light up this brick. And then here's the restroom forms. You can see the depression here for the shower. And this is the first restroom right here. It's the handicap accessible one, so it's a little bit larger. And we've got some lockers over there. And then we have a smaller second restroom in the back. Just really looks fantastic. You can see how they did a great job, but you can see how much this ceiling sagged in the center. It's incredible that over the years that the ceiling has not caved in. Now what we did is we supported it over here with the beam on this side and supported it with the beam on the other side. And you can see here how up against the wall it really slopes, but I'm not worried about that doing anything in the future because we've supported it in 3 places. But what they had to do is they had to really bend this top plate right here, because we made this a load-bearing wall as well, and we've got some additional support in the crawl space for it. But you can just see how all these members just really slope through here. Now this was the addition that they added later, but it was under a lot of stress. Up here, it's not as bad. These don't appear to be sagging as much, but they do sag. Again, it was the beam sagged about 4 inches from the wall to the center space over here. You can really see right now what it's gonna look like when you come in and you walk up the stair. The stair slips right by this wall, and then you'll walk right up to the second floor. And this right here is all of our library shelves. So we'll have all our library shelves. So here we've created a nice space, and this is where we'll lay out materials and samples, product samples and all as we're designing and putting things together. So here in the back, This will be the break area. We've already made it out of the reclaimed wood, the little bar area, so it'll go right there, and we've got our art glass that'll fit right there as well. It's gonna look fantastic. Made a lot of progress today. This is the library shelf wall here, and then we got these walls up that are around the stairs. So this is supposed to enclose you as you go up. It's supposed to be very confining. We're gonna have the same steel stairs right here as you go up, and then you're gonna feel this space. Really should be pretty nice. I was worried about the width, but it feels wide enough. And then we've got a very small space right here. That's what's the challenge with this space being 24 feet wide, is that once you get these columns in here, and they're about 3'9" off from the walls, and then you're trying to get different stairs and different things through here, it's a little bit of a challenge as far as width. Here is our hidden room right here that will have the water heater and the electrical panel, different kind of functions for the building. This right here is stereo shelf, be fantastic, just awesome. And then this right here is just some storage for my albums. Be pretty neat. And you can see right here, they've got this worked in. This is our return air. And then the restroom is right here, and we have this area left out for the shelving that we've made, and our locker over here. And then this is the other restroom. They got it finished very nicely. Can look back through the corridor. Still amazed at how the ceiling slopes, but we've got it supported. So they really are pretty close to being finished framing. We've got these new pieces right here, and I'm okay with them. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is probably staining them. Some of this old wood in the back is not, well, it is all quarter sawn through here. Trying to get the same look as over here. We went in and used quarter sawn wood over here and stained them. But I think what I might try to do is stain these pieces, and you'll be able to see over. I think it'll be kind of hard to see because it's going to be above the shelves, but what we could do is I'll just stain those uprights. But yeah, that's it. Good day on the square.